And I was watching last night again about you. I can see your steel shoes up there, your titanium shoes.
Yeah, my titanium boots. Yeah.
So you hold, that's another world record you hold.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know how I started doing this years ago. There was Arto Nyquist program called Just Amazing years ago. Barry Sheen used to host it. Used to be a proper fit girl with like black, nice tight leather pants on. So it wasn't the main reason I used to watch it. But anyway, it's a program called Just Amazing, and Arto Nyquist was on it on a Z1300, and I had to say at the time I can't remember what I had, a GS Tower or whatever, and I seen that and I was blown away by him doing stuff like that. And he used to jump off the back with a pair of wooden clogs on. I started obviously doing shows and whatever, and the very first time I'd done it, I thought to myself, I'm gonna have to have a go at that. So we got a pair of wooden clogs. I jumped off the back. It was Speak Airport, so it's a really abrasive floor. And the clogs only lasted 2 goes, I think it was. I think it was about 50 quid, 70 quid for a pair of these clogs. They only lasted about 2 goes and they were worn out. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to be buying clogs like that. Plus they were a little bit dangerous, slip-on clogs. So I got a pair of steel ones made, which I've actually got the steel ones hanging up somewhere. The steel ones are up there. They were really heavy. The steel ones, as I say, were really heavy. And they didn't spark or anything like that. Obviously you could see I was hanging off the back of it, but they weren't that good. And I've done a show, I'll try and say this really quick. It does, to people who obviously will hear it now, they'll probably think it sounds like a bit of bull, but quite a few people were there at the time. Obviously my wife, Joan, Tony, who used to help me out in America and stuff like that. Anyway, we were doing a show in America, Laguna Seca World Superbike, and my bike wasn't there. I was in another motorhome, stuff like that. And anyway, my bike turned up. Jess, who dropped my bike off, he drops my bike off, and it sounded fluffy. It just wasn't revving good. So as I say, I'll cut the long story short because it is a bit of a long story. My bike was running crap. This guy outside the motorhome, because you saw was quite a few people would congregate outside the motorhome to talk to you or whatever. This Tony's talking to me, and he knew obviously the bike was running crap, and he said, "I know the guys at Dynajet. Do you want me to go and see if they can sort it out for you?" This is like 10 o'clock in the morning. My first show was at 12:12, and I went, "Oh yeah, if you could, yeah, that would be great." So he takes my bike away. As he takes my bike away, I'm looking around, and I'd left me steel shoes. The guy, Jez, he'd left my bike. He'd kept my steel shoes in the back of his van. I'm like, they were one of the main part of the show, what everyone likes. So I'm on the phone, and Laguna, Monterey Bay, it's like mountainous. Couldn't get in touch with him, no signal, and as I say, my head was up my bum really. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Couldn't get in touch with him. All people outside the motorhome, and as I say, and you can tell I'm talking to people are coming and going, and there's one old guy who's staying there, and I knew he obviously wanted to talk to me, but he didn't want to just come in front, so he waited for everyone to go. So I was waiting for all my new leathers, so my leathers weren't there, my bike was running like a turd, my steel shoes had been left in the back of the van. All this in one go. So anyway, this old guy comes up to me when everyone had gone, and he's first thing he does, he come up and he passed me a little old serrated postcard, black and white postcard, and I looks at it, and it's like a Triumph Bonneville, picture of a guy doing a wheelie on it, sitting backwards, stuff like that, one skiing off the back of it. This was in like 1960 something, 1970 something. So I'm looking at it, and then I looked at him and I went, "That's not you, is it?" And he went, yeah. He said, "I used to do this back in such and such." This was like a stunt rider from the 60s, whatever it was. I was like, no way. So I'm talking to him, and then a light bulb come on. I went, "You haven't still got them skis, have you?" And he went, yeah, I've got them at home. And people in America travel hundreds of miles. And I went, I said, "Bet you live a million mile away, don't you?" And he said, "No, not that far, really." So I said, so I told him anyway what had happened. I said, "Listen," I said, "I'll get you passes to get onto the pit lane, this, that." I said, "I'll buy them off, I'll rent them off you, whatever." And he was really happy anyway. So this guy goes home to go and get me his steel shoes, which I thought was steel at the time. So he's gone. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, I might have me. I mean, I didn't know if Jess would have still come back with my own pair, but this guy had anyway got me a pair. So my bike was running like a turd. My shoes weren't there. This guy's on his way to obviously get my shoes. I'm still waiting for my leathers and my helmet to turn up. And it must have come to like 12 o'clock. People are still outside. People start congregating again then when they know it's dinner time, when you're about to go out. So next minute, Michael Perot from AGV, he knows this story. He's the boss of AGV in America. He comes in with all my kit, my new helmets, which had just been painted and stuff like that, still actually smelled of paint. He comes in with my new helmets, all my new leathers, which I think were these ones at the time. You can see Gary and Joan on them. I was really chuffed with all them. Everything new. So I'm getting dressed with these. This old guy turns up, comes in the motorhome. I said, come in, he's got an old army satchel. So he gets a pair of these shoes out, and as soon as I picked them up, I could tell they were really light. And I said to him, what are they made out of? Because they weren't steel. He said they're titanium. And I'd been using steel ones for years, and I said, I've never used them. I said, titanium. He said, yeah, what is? He said, flat trackers years ago in America. They used to obviously do flat track racing. There was one guy in America who used to make the shoes for them, to make a left. He said, I got him to make me a right one as well. So we had the pair of these shoes. So we'll get to them anyway. And the first, he obviously had a pair of these, but they weren't like them where they clip together. It's like an old, buckle type. So I goes to put them on. As soon as I pulled it, bleeding thing snapped. It's obviously been in a bag for 30, 40 years, whatever. So I went, it snapped. He said, I've got some spares. And I was like, cut a long story, we've got them all. I'm getting ready. The people are outside. The guy who actually used to take you to the track, so because they'd send someone over before you do the stunt show, so they'd make sure you were there in the pit lane. So someone's outside calling me, waiting to go out. Tony turns up with my GSXR here and revving her outside. I thought, my GSXR running great. I've got my shoes, got all my kit, and all the years of obviously this of me doing shows, this had never happened. So I get on my bike, goes to do the show. I'm waiting. And I'm talking to the actual commentator, and I'm telling him what happened, and I'm saying to him, this is this guy here. Showed him the picture and all that, and the commentator's chuffed because he's got something to tell the crowd over. This old guy used to do stunt riding. He's telling me about the shoes not turning up, and he's got these titanium shoes. So anyway, I goes out, and I knew Jamie Whitten really well at the time and whatever. So I goes out, I start doing my show. Halfway through my show, I stops in the middle. Start to put my shoes on. I put one shoe on. My wife puts the other shoe on. I rides down the track, turns back round, jumps off the... Oh, actually, no, sorry. I rid up the track, the way the races go, turn round, comes back over the start-finish line, down the hill, straightens it up. I'm in probably third gear on the knocker. I've already got 1 foot. I used to always keep 1 foot, so my right foot... I'd keep my right foot on here all the time. I'd keep my left foot on the gears, go round the bend, straightened it up, jumped off the back. And as I jumped off the back with my steel ones used to slow down a lot faster than the bike. The titanium ones, as I jumped off, I actually slid into the bike, so they were actually sliding faster than the bike was slowing down. So I actually pushed myself away from the bike, waved to the crowd, slid back into it, grabbed hold of it, jumped on. You hear the crowd, even over the bike, you can still hear the crowd going bananas. So as I slowed down, I turns round, does a bit of a circle, and takes off again. First gear, bit of a wheelie, second gear, and I've got my right foot again still on the back peg here. I'm changing gear with my left, and I'm going down the side of the start pits, obviously the pits, and all the people are waving, whatever. I didn't think nothing of it. But really, Jamie Whitten and my wife and other people who were there have just seen what's happened. I couldn't see what happened. As I'd actually jumped back on the bike, his titanium boots were a lot bigger than mine. One of them stayed on the track and skating down the track. So everyone sees it happening. I turns round. People obviously thought I knew about it. I turns round, and as I turned round, it actually skated under my bike, so I didn't see it. And as I'm going back up, the people who obviously know me, Jamie and my wife and all that, know that I don't know them, and they can tell I'm just about to jump back off the bike again. And I've got one shoe on. So they're actually screaming, waving as if to say, don't jump off. I get to a certain speed anyway, does it, jumps off the back, and as soon as my left foot touched the floor, it nearly went round my bleeding head. So I half went on my side, my left knee is on the floor. I'm going to the pit lane, heading towards the pit wall. So I let go, make my right hand, grab the exhaust, pull the bike on its side, just didn't touch the wall, but near enough skimmed the pit wall. I could hear the crowd going, ooh! And anyway, I managed to actually skate on one leg, jump back on the bike, shaking my head. I had the bike on the rev limiter. Took my shoe off, and that was it really. I didn't put it back on anyway. Finished the show, and as I say, in all the years of me doing shows, no one had ever come up to me to say I used to do that. I'd never ever lost my shoes, Joe. So in that one meeting, my leathers weren't there, my bike had run like a turd, and I say the main thing, my shoes had gone missing. This old guy in the middle of nowhere, say from 10 years of doing shows, whatever, this old guy is standing there and actually had a pair of titanium boots, which I'd never even used titanium before. You tell someone that story, it just sounds like a bit of a bull crap story, doesn't it? Really,
I think he was meant to.
It's like sent down from bleeding heaven, this guy. And that's when I started using titanium. You know, obviously after I started doing that, all the sparks and stuff what come off them a lot better than these, and they obviously last a lot longer. So that's how I started using them. You think I'd be a bit thick there, wouldn't you? You've got an L and an R on them, left and a right. So yeah, that was one story, which I've got many stories like, but that was one of the best ones. Yeah.
So what was your world record for skating behind it? 140 something.
No, when I first done it, 143 mile an hour, I think it was, or 146, and then I'd done it again years later. The first one was on a ZZR 1100, which was on my first video, Showtime 1. And then I done it again in 99. I actually done it the same weekend when I done the world wheelie record with Patrick Firstenoff for Guinness World Records. I'd done the ski record, I think, on the Saturday or the Sunday, and I'd done the wheelie on whatever way, vice versa. So I don't attempt to break it or even do it really. It's just I would do it again. You know, if someone obviously offered me a load of money, I would do it again. But at the time, I only done it to promote myself and keep sponsors happy and stuff like that.
So that old guy then, he was your guardian angel that day.
Yeah. As I say, I've actually got his card somewhere. I mean, this was 20 years ago, 1998 or something, 97, 98 maybe. And at the time, he must have been maybe 70. So hopefully he's still around. But yeah, I think he must have been sent down from heaven, if you believe in, you know, all stuff like that. He was there. It had never happened in 10 years of me doing shows. And if obviously people weren't there who I know, like Michael Perrott, Joan, Tony, you wouldn't believe that had happened, would you? No. You know, the only event where my shoes actually go away in the back of a van, I can't get hold of them, and there's a guy who used to do stunt riding in the 60s or whatever, who actually had a pair of titanium ones and went home and got them for me. How mad's that? So,
it is mad. Yeah. But when you was getting to your record before, what was the speed you got to on these? Because the one I saw.
The one you've probably seen. There's two. They're both on Showtime 1, Showtime 2. On Showtime 1, I'd done it on a ZZR 1100 Kawasaki, and I'd done it at Bruntingthorpe, actually the same place where I'd done the other one. I'd done 143 or 146 mile an hour on the ZZR. That's the fastest that would pull me. That was in top gear. And then, not on top gear, that was actually in top gear, I mean 6th gear. And then when I went back in 99, I'd done it the same weekend. I'd actually done the world's fastest wheelie record with Patrick Firstenoff for Guinness World Records. I'd done two records that weekend. One was the skiing, which was on the back of a Hayabusa. Not obviously this one, this would pull me a lot faster than 156, but yeah, a standard Hayabusa. Top gear, I tried it in 5th gear flat out. And I put it in 6th gear, so as I say, 156 mile an hour, which I've done, and for some reason, no one's ever tried to, as far as I know, no one's ever tried to break it. I would have another go at it, but at the time, I was, keeping sponsors happy, promoting myself, for more shows. That's obviously why you try and do it, keep yourself in the public eye, whatever. Yeah. But I would do it again, because if I'd done it on this, you'd be doing 170 plus mile an hour. Well, it'd probably pull you even faster than that, but I think probably me limit maybe might be 170, something like that. But yeah, I would do it again, but they'd have to pay me quite a bit of money to do it.
Don't blame you.
Yeah.
Getting to, I was going to mention dangerous things about. Obviously, this is pretty dangerous hobby you've got. Last night, I actually sat up till 2 o'clock after watching your videos, watching all sorts of madness. The Nitro Circus.
Yeah.
I was watching I think it was from last year. They've just done a video where they're trying to get a motorbike to do a triple loop,
triple
and a
backflip.
BMX to do a quadruple.
Yeah.
The injuries and the injuries and the injuries.
Yeah, stuff like that. You know, even motocross years ago, you know, I was into motocross and stuff. Even road racing's pretty dangerous and stuff like that. But people used to say to me, you know, doing stunt right, no, it looks dangerous, it looks this, that. It wasn't really dangerous to me. I always like to try and make it look like I was on the edge. You know, I'd try and go as close as I could to the crowd, you know, to the pit wall. You know, even if I could nearly try and get the back tyre to touch the pit wall. But it might look like he was out of control, but I was always in control. Never tried to go past my limits. That's probably why I only ever broke one bone in me foot. That was at Mallory Park. Stood on a tank on my GSXR 1100 doing a wheelie. Put it down, got a big tank slapper, fell off. I could feel my foot tingling at the time. Didn't know it. Obviously, I broke anything. I waves me mate down, Carl. He comes down on me Z1300. Actually, when I first got up, you know, everything's quiet. It's like tumbleweed going across the track and all that. It's really quiet on it. So I got up, bowed to the crowd, and they all go bananas. Then gets me 13 down, doing a load of wheelies on my Z1300 burnout, whatever. I had to put my steel shoes on. I don't steel or titanium time, but when I had to put them on, you have to actually bang them on. And when I was banging it on, obviously that hurt my foot. Anyway, I finished the show. 20 minutes later, I come out the commentary box, obviously after speaking to the commentator, and the doctor seen me. I was hobbling a little bit and the doctor seen me, called me over and he said, let's come and examine you. And I said, I'm all right, really. He said, let's have a look. So anyway, he's looked at me, bends my foot and all that. And it didn't really hurt that much at the time. I could feel it clicking when he was bending my foot. And he went, yeah, he said, you broke a bone in your foot. And I went, no, I haven't broken. And he went, believe me, he said, you broke a bone in your foot. He said, it's up to you. You can go to hospital here or you can go when you go home. I said, yeah, I'll go when I go home, okay. All bravado, whatever. So I go to the van, my truck at the time, and I said to my wife and Carl and whatever, I said, the doctor said I broke a bone in my foot, but it didn't hurt or anything. 20 minutes later, I've got my foot on the dash of the van, and it was like throbbing. I was going, don't breathe on it. It was proper hurting. So anyway, my wife worked at the time, and at the time, we actually lived in a maisonette, and I'm coming, you know, my wife's going to work the next morning, and she said, come on, get up, go to the hospital. I said, well, I'll get up, and she knew I probably wouldn't have went, so she makes me get out of bed, and it goes, didn't even have a sock on. So we're going actually, obviously the maisonette is a house on top of a house, and we're coming down the main flight of stairs. I'm being a bit of a knob, really. I've got hold of the wall, and I'm jumping 2 steps at a time. The last 3, I jumped the last 3, so I've got my hand on the rail, my hand on the wall, jumped the last 3, and it was my right foot, obviously, what I broke a little bone, and as I jumped, I landed on the floor, my left ankle went, my left foot went on its side, I slapped my right foot on the floor, I sat on the floor, and I just felt the blood drain out my face, and my wife saying, you're all right, you're all right. I just shook my head and went, don't talk to me. Couldn't even speak, felt like I was just going to keel over. Anyway, I sat there for 5 minutes, whatever. Ended up going to hospital, told them the story, they thought it was hilarious. And I ended up just getting like a little boot plaster out. I've actually got, while you're here, you know, talking about that, and this wasn't even set up really. I actually had a little boot plaster on. While I'm talking, I'll tell you about this. So they basically put my foot in a plaster, but it was like half a boot. And my left foot was actually a lot worse than my right one. So the right one I broke, which obviously hurt. My left foot, it went black, right all up the side, it was black. So for like a week or 2, even trying to get up, I had to basically go on my front, go on my knees, and then lift me obviously myself up, put one foot flat, and I was hobbling around on crutches. I had a show to do. This was actually a magazine at the time, Northern Bikers, a picture of me doing a wheel on the front. There's a picture of me there doing a wheel, and you can see I've still got the cast on. So I was still doing shows at the time. There's the cast, still my pinky stuck out.
I'll take a photo of that in a minute. Huh?
Yeah. So I still had to do some shows and whatever. And one of the shows I had to do was touring cars at Silverstone. So I goes there, obviously the day before. Always went there, try and get there the day before, do a bit of practice. And I had this boot on. So I went to see the doctor in there and I said, do us a favour, I said, can you cut my boot off? And he looked at me, what do you mean? I can't cut your boot off. So I said, I'm doing a stunt show. I said, I've got to cut my boot off. And he went, I can't do that. It's more than my job's worth. I said, listen, if you don't do it, do you know, my mate and my brother, they're going to do it. I said, I'd rather you do it. Anyway, he wouldn't do it. So I had to go back to the van. And Carl, obviously, you know, they get the grinder out, and there's me, and I'm saying, watch me toes. So they got the grinder out, and they actually grinded. I've actually still got the boot plaster somewhere, but they ground down the sides and stuff like that. And we ended up peeling it open, got my foot off, got my foot out. I'd done the show, I had to bang my foot back into the steel shoes, done the steel shoes. It hurt a little bit, and then obviously after the show, opened it back up, put it back on, taped it back up. So I was like that for a couple of weeks, but yeah, in all the years of me doing stunt riding, that's the only bone I ever broke. And that was because one of the bushes inside the forks, when I was doing a wheelie, one of the bushes, the brass bushes or something, that broke. And when I put it down, one fork locked up, I got a big tank slapper and fell off. So yeah, in all the years of doing stunt riding, I only ever broke that bone. I have broke a couple of other bits and bobs, but it's always been something stupid, you know, trying to fly with a paramotor, practicing that, broke my wrist. Skiing, went off a cliff skiing, and it was a proper cliff really. If it wouldn't have still been flat when I hit the floor, I probably would have been dead, but anyway, I bounced, done me disc skiing, carried on skiing the rest of the week, but I still get jip over that. That's about it really. So
it's just a pretty good record then, really.
51 now, I've always been pretty good at bouncing, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Right, well, I think we've had a good insight into what you're about, and I think you're a bit mental, if I'm honest. Or you was when you were younger,
yeah,
at least.
Quite a few people still think that. Yeah.
Well, I've never been a biker. I've only owned one motorbike in my life, and it was MT5.
MT5, you could push them backwards, you know, and they'd run backwards.
Could they?
Yeah, if you push them and let the clutch out backwards, they'd run.
This one only just run. We had it on the beach at Pilling.
Oh, you had a really bad one.
Yeah. It was terrible. I actually come off it one day. I was trying to do donuts, believe it or not, on the beach. And as I dropped the bike, it snapped the clutch pedal off, so it just crashed the gears.
Yeah.
And it didn't last very long. I think a guy bought it also 20 quid for bits. It's the only bike I've ever owned.
Yeah.
But anyway, right. Well, thank you for your time. Thanks for inviting us down.
Yeah.
I'll put a link. I'll put your email address in case someone does want to buy that bike, if someone good sees it.
Yeah.
And I'll put a link to your website and what have you underneath.
Yeah, cool, yeah.
Well,
I've actually got all the body kit for the bike hanging up there, which you can do little pictures of that as well.
I will do. I'll have a quick tour in a minute. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Cheers, Gary.
Cool.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for coming.
Right, there you go. That was Gary Rothwell. Interesting story. I bet I could spend hours here chatting to him about stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll put the links to his videos up here because he's got his own YouTube channel. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing and liking this video, that'd be brilliant. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.